So, you're probably wondering, Darren, why are you on the floor? Is it that soft? What's going on? Well, is it that soft? Yes, but the reason why I'm on the floor is because financially, I effed up yet again. And here's how.
Almost 2 months ago, I was over $13,000 in credit card debt, and I was extremely motivated to put myself debt-free for the first time in over a decade. Everything was going well at the beginning. I even fully paid off a credit card within a few months. But when I financially saw how I was doing, I realized I was still losing money, and literally for the dumbest reason. So when I was trying to be strategic on how to lower my debt, there was one key piece of information that I wasn't keeping in mind, I wasn't fully thinking about on how it would actually affect me. And I really hope you don't make the same mistake that I did, because it can literally cost you hundreds of dollars, just like it did me. So here's the initial situation. I have 3 credit cards totaling up to a debt balance of around $13,000. Now, one of those cards has an almost significantly lower balance than the other 2. So I figured, hey, I'll use the snowball method to tackle the card with the lowest debt and then go to the next one, and so on and so forth. More specifically, I'd pay the minimum payment on all 3 and then took as much money as I could to put on the lowest balance one. And when I did some math, I calculated that I'd be able to pay 2 of the 3 cards by the end of November. And guys, it was actually working. I finally took care of a credit card that had over $1,000 balance over the past 5 years and paid it off within the first 3 months. It honestly felt so great knowing that that was one less credit card that I had to worry about. And when the beginning of this month came up, I opened my laptop and I was ready to just give that budget template to business until I realized one thing: I was still failing. I'm still losing money, but let's back up a bit. Another reason I felt like this plan would actually work is because that credit card with the lowest balance was actually a card that I wasn't using at all. So I figured it would be easier to pay that one off. And once I paid that one off, I would move up to the second highest, which at the time I was only using for gas and groceries. But just to make it a little bit easier on myself, I would take the groceries expenses and put it on my 3rd credit card. The 3rd credit card. I got that 3rd credit card with the intention to use it essentially all the time, and I understood that. And at the time, for some reason, I didn't fully comprehend how that would affect me based off my expenses and my budget. Every month I was spending more money than the minimum payment on that card could handle, and every month that minimum payment was going higher and higher to the point where I was taking more steps back than forward. And ultimately I went from 3 credit cards with a $13,000 total balance to 2 credit cards with over $14,000. I mean, come on. So with that, here's my new plan. There is an alternative option. It may not necessarily be the sexiest option as far as being able to immediately take a credit card and throw it away, being one less credit card I have to deal with, but for me, it's gonna be the best option. And that's obviously the avalanche method. The snowball method did a good job motivating me in the same way that all the websites said that it would, as far as me being able to get rid of credit cards one at a time. But it's not worth it if I'm going from 3 credit cards with a $13,000 balance to 2 credit cards with at least the same total balance. What I had to remember is that the goal for me is to be financially healthier, and the snowball method, at least for me, is not cutting it. So with the avalanche method, I'll do a better job at actually saving more money by focusing on the credit cards with the higher interest rates. And that may mean instead of me putting all the money towards one card, I might have to evenly distribute amongst the last 2. What's funny, while I was working on what I was going to talk about with this video, I also realized that it makes more sense for me to use the avalanche method, because that's essentially the mindset that I have with all of my debts altogether, not just my credit card debts. For example, I have a car note, and I'm not putting extra money on my car note because the interest on that car note is significantly less than my credit card. Same thing with my student debt, because right now I don't have to pay it, and that's gonna change in a couple months. I'm so excited. But the interest rate on that is a little bit more than the car note, but significantly less than the credit cards, and I'm aware of that. So when it comes to the snowball method and the avalanche method, I'm not sure if websites say this, but you really have to keep in mind on how active you actually are with those credit cards. If you don't really use your credit cards, or you don't use them at all, then honestly, either option is gonna be great for you. But if you do, then you really wanna keep in mind the balances of all your cards, the interest that you have to pay, pretty much everything that has to do with how much money you're putting towards those cards to really determine which option is actually gonna be best for you. And if you do that, then more than likely you won't end up like me. However, luckily, my credit card issues didn't stop me from having my net worth go up over the past few months. So that was actually pretty cool. What did help was a major mindset change that I had when it comes to tracking my money. And of course, the stock market actually did pretty well too. But this mindset change was really stupid as far as why I didn't have it to begin with. But this could hopefully help a lot of you guys out with tracking your money and how you really think about things. So make sure you check out this video. Hopefully it helps you guys out when it comes to tracking your money and making it a little more interesting than just entering numbers in. But I really hope that video helps, and I really hope this video helped you guys as well. I do appreciate you guys watching as always, and until next time, take care.